so much for joining us today. I am Christina Garnett, the Marketing Director at the Roanoke Regional Small Business Development Center. And today I am off campus. I took a little field trip to Peters Creek, and I am at Sunbelt Brokers, and I am with Jennifer. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Yes.
And if you haven't noticed, this is not vertical. I am on my laptop right now. So if you haven't used it yet, Facebook Live will now let you do the live video straight from your webcam on your laptop. So we're trying this out. So I'm still doing BeLive TV, but this should be a really easy way to kind of showcase the different options that you have. So we have a couple questions today specifically about business brokering. So Jennifer, I have no idea what business brokering is. Why should I choose to buy a business instead of just starting my own?
Well, there's a lot of benefits to buying a business. First, you have an existing business that has a clientele, hopefully. It's a solid base. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that you consider when you're buying a business versus starting one up. You've had all the upfront costs for the build outs already done. You have built recognition in the community. And like I said, hopefully you have the clientele, as well as it also goes hand in hand with franchise. If you're buying a franchise, it's the same thing. You would still have the build out done. You wouldn't have the startup costs and all the franchising fees. You might have a transfer fee. So that is a major, major benefit to buy something that's existing. It's really tough to start your own business and just kind of cross your fingers and hope in that 5-year period is what we say, that it gets off the ground making a profit.
Okay, cool. So let's go on the opposite side of that. Let's say that I've started my own business. I love it, but for whatever reason, I want to try new things, or it's ready to retire. I want to sell my business. What kind of timeline are we looking at?
That's a tough question. We get asked that on a daily basis. So basically, the exit strategy is very important. First of all, if you are planning to sell a business, don't let the business go downhill. Don't let your sales go downhill. Plan according to when you're getting ready to sell. A good 6 months to a year, sometimes even 2 years, depending on the business. Plan that exit strategy, and I think your company at the SBA can definitely help to encourage you and try to figure out what the best exit strategy is. So in answer to that question, it could be 2 weeks. We've had contracts in 2 weeks. It could be 2 months. It could be a year. It all depends on finding that willing and able buyer. And it really isn't a type of business that's going to sell quicker than another. It's just finding the right buyer. But definitely don't let the business go downhill. Keep it up. Keep your sales coming in, and that's the best assurance that you're going to get a qualified buyer.
Perfect. Great. So let's say that there are a couple businesses that are on the market. I want to buy. What sort of questions should I be asking before I make a purchase like this?
That's a good question. We help, so basic questions to ask if you're wanting to buy a business, so you want to know what to buy. Okay, what to ask. You're going to obviously ask if it's making a profit and what your sales are. You're going to ask if that seller is willing to stay on. Would they help transition you? That's a big component and a big benefit for someone buying a business. Is there an established staff that's in that business that's going to continue to run it and keep it up to par while you get used and get your feet wet, so to speak? Because most people don't want to go in and start making a lot of changes. And if they can go into an existing business that has a seller that's going to kind of hold their hand for a month or so, or maybe even a couple weeks, that's a huge benefit. One other big thing right now is to see if that seller is willing to do owner financing for you. That can definitely be a benefit to get you turned around and get in that business a lot quicker.
Okay, great. So we've kind of talked about the questions that someone should be asking, kind of the benefits of buying instead of starting your own. What do you specifically do as a broker?
We do a lot of things. Typically, we'll work with a seller that will come to us and want to sell a business. So we have a conversation, give them some insight about what Sunbelt Business Brokers does, and then we offer a valuation. At that point, we come back and we talk to that individual about the valuation and the price that we've come up with. And then if they decide to sign with us, we follow it through and we go from beginning to end. We hold the hand of the seller. We take that headache off of them. And one of the major things to think about is a seller is emotionally invested in their business. So that's huge for us as business brokers to take that emotional side away, let them run their business while we try to sell it and find the best candidate. We're going to vet the buyer for them. We're going to do extensive marketing. That's one thing at Sunbelt Business Brokers that I'm most proud of our business is we have this intense marketing program. We feed out to 9 different sites. It goes worldwide. It's national. And also along with that, Sunbelt Business Brokers is a franchise. So we have people all around the nation helping us, and we're hand in hand trying to sell businesses for each other. One interesting fact is that a lot of times businesses in the area are not purchased by people in this local area. They're coming from out of state and potentially even out of the country. So we're going to negotiate for you. We are going to make sure that we're not just getting a tire kicker that's coming to look at your business. We're invested in confidentiality for you, and we're going to have them sign an agreement, and we're going to make sure that they are on board and really are a good potential buyer for you. And then we're going to help all the way down to the closing. We can help a seller hold their hand through it and help them, a buyer rather. We're going to help that buyer hold their hand, and we can lead them into different financing options and give them some resources to reach out to. And then it becomes that we are a mediator between the buyer and seller. So we're going to work for both at the end and make this deal come together while the seller is still running their business, making a profit, and not having the headache of trying to figure out if this person is a legit buyer.
That's a lot.
There's a lot involved in it, and we love doing it. We get a lot of hits. And when I said tire kicker, we get a lot of inquiries on businesses. But is it a legit buyer? Do they have the funds that they're coming, or are they just trying to get information? That's for us to look through and go and figure out with that potential buyer and protect that seller first and foremost.
That's great. That's fantastic. So can you tell us a little bit more about Sunbelt? You kind of touched on it a little bit about what Sunbelt does and its background and everything. Can you tell us a little bit more about what to expect?
Sunbelt Business Brokers is the world's largest brokerage. Whether you're buying or selling a business or simply just need a valuation or a franchise consultation, we're here for you. Don't wait until you need to sell the business. Don't wait until it's dire straits. Come to us even if you're planning your exit strategy. If it's 6 months, a year out, come to us and do a valuation. Figure out what your business is worth. Figure out what you can do to potentially get that higher price you want. One thing about business brokering is we have the potential to get you much more for your business than what an individual would get selling on their own. Along with number 1, we talked about the marketing. And number 2, we're taking that emotional side out for you, and we're professional expertise that can come in and use our qualified experience, as well as getting a lot of people calling us that are looking for businesses. So we have that resource and we have that list we can pull from. So again, if you're looking to buy or sell, we're the place to come.
That's awesome. So thank you again so much for being a part of our FAQ series. I think this is really an interesting perspective for our audience. We have people who want to start a business, and there's perfectly great businesses that are being sold that answer the exact same market they want. And also, I'm sure that we have people who are thinking about exit strategy and never thought about possibly having a broker. So that is fantastic information. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Yes, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us.
No problem. So do you have a website? How can they contact you if they have questions?
Yes, you can look at Sunbelt Business Brokers Roanoke. It's www.sunbeltnetwork.com/Roanoke. And I think it's /VA. And we are located on Peters Creek Road. We're local. And give us a call. You can call me directly at 540-293-0340. And I'd be happy to help you.
Perfect. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them down in the comments. And I will see you next Thursday at 2 p.m. for our next FAQ series. Remember, if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Our counseling is free and confidential. Feel free to go to our website and learn more. It's www.roanokesmallbusiness.org. And until then, have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.